Do you know the most obsolete idea in today's world according to Robert Kiyosaki? Hi, this is Ariel and welcome to my YouTube channel. Try to think about this. Is there any amount of money on planet Earth that had been sent to the moon, Mars, Jupiter, Pluto, or any other planets? Then why do you think most people think that they need to save money when in fact every single day they're printing trillions of money? This is where the separation happens between the rich and the poor. You see, it isn't just the money itself that makes the rich richer and the poor become poorer. It's how they look at things. So you wanted to step back and look at the mountain take that view. One of my favorite quotes from Isaac Newton goes like this: "If I've seen further, it is because I stand in the shoulders of giants." So what we can learn from this? It means that you don't have to be rich right now or become the giants to know what the rich people are seeing and what they're doing. Now here's the thing. Being rich comes in many different forms, not just in numbers you see in your bank account. Each and every one of us have a poor person inside. They're also middle class and there's also rich. Now, the middle class wanted to be secure. They wanted to play the safe side. They avoid risk as much as they can, and everything they see too good to be true seems to be a scam. They're satisfied and contented on having a steady paycheck, at least for now, and a few more years. And then there's this rich person. They see things differently. They value growth over money. They take risks and they love challenges. They are not afraid of failure because they understand that it's what keeps them growing. Now, the interesting part is this. They're all living inside of us. Except that it has not been taught. The standard culture which most of our parents taught us is to go to school for 16 years, get a job that gives you a steady paycheck, plus a 2 weeks vacation each year. Then you retire and pass down the same culture to the young generations you had been taught. We're not taught to get rich. We are trained to become the best employee, but never the best version of ourselves. We follow rules, standards, policies, and who make all those rules? The rich, the powerful, and the wealthy people. They're saying that if you don't have your own plan, you are part of somebody else's plan. If you ever read the book Rich Dad Poor Dad, there's a part of the book when the rich dad refused to pay Robert Kiyosaki. Do you know why? The rich dad says that a paycheck was one of the most damaging things you can take in your life. Because once you receive a paycheck, you're an employee. And that employee is a mindset. Having an employee mindset is short term. They work for an hour and then the company will pay them for an hour, giving it to them every 30 days until they drain their time, energy, and then replace them with new one after they have given almost half of their lives. Now here's the thing. Rich people are not paid by the hours they work. They paid by the results they can generate. They are paid by the value they give to the marketplace. Rich are paid by the application of the knowledge and the skills they have, and they can literally work for months or even years on a project before they can even get paid because they believe in their long-term vision, their crafts. The rich dad in the book doesn't say paycheck was bad. However, being slave to money is what's bad. So being an entrepreneur requires you to become a self-reliant, having full responsibility in your actions and your results, taking full ownership of your life. If you fail, you accept it and move forward. You just try one more or a different approach. You don't need someone to take care of you because you learn how to be tough and be alone without being lonely. You know how to motivate your own self and pick yourself up and move forward. So being an entrepreneur is not much about business. It's more about the mindset, the lifestyle, and the skill sets, and a different set of rules and principles in life that you follow. And depending whether you are an employee or you have a small business, entrepreneur is always starts with a mindset. The set of rules are different The mindset and skills are different. Now, here's the thing. If you're someone who had never been, but thinking about taking a leap of faith in becoming an entrepreneur, here's what you can consider a two cents. 100% commitment is required. You can't dabble with the idea and give 99% of commitment because that 1% can serve as a breeding ground for excuses and soon can be the reason for you to quit. Mostly, if things starts to get uncomfortable. It's kinda like of having a mommy and daddy that can always catch you when you fall and just go back to being a child. There's a reason why 99% of people don't understand how an entrepreneur thinks, but the entrepreneur live the life of 99% of people dream of. You need to have a do or die mentality in becoming an entrepreneur and delete all plan B to coming back as an employee. Usually the test of your character will happen when you no longer have a paycheck coming your way. But it's the best thing that can happen to you. You know why? Because you will be hungrier, smarter, or wiser on how you can make things work. It's going to be a test whether you will choose to become a jerk, dishonest, or an a-hole, or you will become a better person. In my opinion, it's one of my biggest benefits once you become an entrepreneur. You can really find out who you are when your pocket is empty, who are your real friends are, who are the people who support you, who loves you. Most people stuck in between two decisions on what could go wrong and what could go right. Now here's the interesting part. They're never going to know what could happen to the other one. Think about this. If something bad happens, there's also good thing that can happen, right? But as entrepreneur, you have to prepare for whatever is coming and you're always ready for whatever circumstances thrown at you. If they think that the next 20 years coming in their life will just as the same as the previous 20 years, they're going to get outplayed in this game called life. You see, when we go to a supermarket and buy a canned goods, we will look at the expiration date, right? But most people don't check the expiration date of their knowledge. A few hundred years ago, people believed that the world is flat. People no longer use yellow pages, my friend. Millions of people are now engaged in different opportunities online, trying to earn extra income, but still, there's millions of people out there who rather get out of debt, but they choose to get into more debt. They buy things they can't afford to please people they don't even like. They think online thing is a scam, starting a business is a cost. Rich people see the world full of opportunities because they're willing to work for it. They choose to do things which the poor people are not willing to do. They read books instead of watching TV. They surround themselves with people who are doing better than them. They invest in themselves and hire mentors. They have a growth mindset, open to new opportunities and ideas. While the poor people save money. They choose to say, I can't afford that, rather than saying, how can I afford that? They got fixed mindset and always playing the victim. They blame outside circumstances. They blame their boss, they blame their government, they blame their spouse, they blame anyone except themselves. Have you ever met someone that whatever happens to them has never been their fault? Look at their lives. You see, the only difference between the rich and the poor is how they think. Those obsolete ideas of getting to school, getting a job, and saving money, getting out of debt, buying a house because you think it's an asset, and investing for long term is no longer working. A lot of people are being sold in the idea of investing for a long term to have financial freedom when they retire. But if you think about it, an average life expectancy of a person these days is 73 years old. So you go to college for 16 years, you work for 40 years, and then you spend your life for another 13 more years, which most of the time, if you're unlucky, the money that you save up for years are barely enough to pay your food and some medical bills. Inflation shoots up and things are getting more and more expensive. And then the cycle continues for generations. That's the worst part, right? Now, I'm not saying that education isn't important, but what I mean is that the traditional education system is no longer effective as it is in today's world. And as Robert Kiyosaki says, that the world has changed. There's Moore's law, which states information doubles every 18 months. In other words, everything is obsolete every 18 months. So when you come out of school, you're already obsolete. Today, the banks are now charging you interest when you save your money. In other words, they don't want it because they printed too much of it. And it's one of the reasons why there's bubbles in stocks and real estate and all these people are dumping the cash. And as the book of Proverbs said, savers are losers and cash is trash. And yet, many people will say, well, I want a high paying job and get out of debt, which is an outdated idea. You should learn how to use debt and use it to make you rich. You see the difference of the big gap between the 99% and the 1%? Why the rich people going this way and the majority of people going that way? It's because they know all these things and they are using it to their advantage. An entrepreneur doesn't have a bad economy. I'm referring to the external circumstances coming from the so-called economy. Because as I mentioned, there's no money that has been sent to Mars or any other planets. It's all here, down here on Earth. So they manage their own internal economy and take control of their own economy. They see the good out of the bad. They see any adversity as an opportunity. They understand that every challenges, failures, or mistake has an equivalent seed of benefits that they can grow upon. But a poor person with a poor internal economy see the bad economy as it is because they don't know how to make money in any economy. And then the middle class has a middle class economy as well. They want those house, cars, and a sense of safe and security in their job. So when you remove their jobs to them, it's a disaster. Now, since an entrepreneur don't have a job, it's not a big deal for them. So it's really important to know what you can control, and that is your internal economy. Entrepreneurs know and understand that their economy is all up to them. They create their own economy, and when they fall down, they know that they can go up. Because as I mentioned, it's a mindset, it's a lifestyle. Skill set is what makes them entrepreneur, not the money. They get stronger and better as they go through different challenges. That's why you can see most successful entrepreneurs can be literally broke in a snap. But then in a few years, they can get back up and back to the top. But a person with a weak and poor mindset, they're so afraid on what could happen because they rely on what they're currently doing and afraid to embrace growth, which is oftentimes uncomfortable. So the first thing you may want to focus on when you wanted to be an entrepreneur is your internal mindset. And it's going to be the toughest battle you can ever have. But once you control it, the world will become your oysters. So I hope you learned something from this video, and if you do, hit the subscribe button and let me know your opinion about in the comment section. So see you and thank you and have a wonderful day.